Why did the Buddha succeed? Why was it that the Buddha became one of the 1,000 specials amongst equals? That has to do with the tiger and 5 cubs. Now, it's a very famous story. This is from a previous life, a Jataka of the Buddha. He's walking through the forest with his 2 brothers, and he's the youngest of the 3, and they come across a tigress, and she's with 5 cubs, and she's starving to death. And then the 3 look at her and say, oh my goodness, she's starving to death, so she's eventually going to have to, she doesn't even have enough energy to feed her cubs, she doesn't have enough energy to get up and hunt or move. Eventually she's going to have to eat her cubs in order to survive. And 2 of the brothers said okay to that. Well, the 2, they all were very upset about it. But, what are you going to do? There's nothing to feed it. And so they didn't come up with an answer. And so the 3 of them went back to the palace. And an hour later, one of the 3 went back to the forest. And then in his hand, you can see he took a stick. He broke off a dry stick. And then he took it on his arm and he cut a little cut on his arm vein, and he feeds some blood to the tigress. And then he made another little cut here, and he drips that into the tigress's mouth. And then slowly he feeds himself to the tigress. And so that's the sad start of the story. And then in the palace, the mother is asleep. And she dreams that her breasts start to swell and release milk, but then from the milk, then the milk stops and turns to blood. And she has other unfortunate dreams like that, or dreams of misfortune. And she wakes up very nervous that something has happened to one of her 3 sons, so she runs out of the palace and wakes the king and says, we have to check on the 3 princes. I think something terrible has happened. I had a dream of milk coming from my breasts and turning to blood. And they see that, then the 2 boys come and say, well, we went to the forest, and now where's the young prince? He's not here. And so then they all panic, and they start, oh, he must have gone back to feed the tigress. This can be dangerous. So they run back to the forest, and there they find the tigress and the 5 cubs have left. And there's just bits of hair there, and a bit of bone there, and another bit of hair, and another bit of bone there. Boy who gave his life to the tigress, I forgot to mention who he was. He was none other than Maitreya. This idea of the 2,500. Maitreya achieves enlightenment after the tiger episodes, and then he's got the destiny to become the next universal teacher of the planet. And so he's the one that in the East is known as the loving one, in the West we know as the Christ, and so forth. Om Namo Harya Maitreya Buddhaya Dharmaya Sanghaya. Om